Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Annie.
And it's me, Peter.
Even if you're just a casual or a mobile game player, join us every week while we rant, rave, and ramble about games we like.
Or maybe we don't like.
Now it's time to ask, what is this game?
It is Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Alright, this week we have a guest with us at Wolves on YouTube and basically all socials. Wolves, why don't you give us yourself an introduction?
Hello, my name is Wolves. I am most popularly known for making thug love videos on YouTube and just gaming, mostly associated with Call of Duty. And I've been a Call of Duty veteran in terms of like a long-term fan since like the early days of COD. So I've witnessed the brand develop from where it was to how it's known today, and I'm here to give some insight on that.
Alright. Where did you start, when did you first get into the games?
I was a very young kid. I don't remember what age, but before I had my own console, I would go to my cousin's house, and they were playing Modern Warfare 2, the original one, and I play a little bit of that, like like split screen and shit. And I ended up like being really good at it in terms of like beating my family, but that was it. Like before, like online was introduced to me, I just played against like family, and I feel like I don't know, that was like the game that attracted me the most. However, um, my first owned Call of Duty ended up being World at War, but this is like after World at War came out already. Like Modern Warfare 2 came out afterwards. But World at War, I played it on the Wii, like as a kid,
On the Wii?
and I was a try hard sweat on Call of Duty World at War on the Wii.
So how did it
And
work on the Wii? Did you have to actually, aim with your hands?
yeah, sometimes I would like turn the gun sideways like I'm gangsta, but
Oh, wow.
like in the World at War, like it was a fun time. But eventually, I got an actual console. I got the 360, and that was when Black Ops 1 came out.
Oh,
So
that changed it all.
yeah, the World at War, MW2, and Black Ops 1 era. That's when I like was more introduced to Call of Duty. I wasn't good back then. That's my first time with a controller in terms of like Call of Duty. But I ended up playing it throughout the life cycle. Then played the next COD and the next one, and every year ever since. Like it's become like a staple. It's like my main game. Like no matter what year, Call of Duty will always be like my number one game, even though I don't like it. But
So
it's
you're
like a
still
love-hate
playing it,
relationship. It's like a toxic relationship that never ends.
nowadays?
Yeah. I constantly play the new ones. However, the last two new ones, Vanguard and Cold War, I
Mhm.
didn't like a lot. So I played like a few months of it, and then like went back to the ones I do like, which has always been the Modern Warfare series.
So is that the one you're playing right now, Modern Warfare 2, the current one?
Yeah, the new Modern Warfare 2. It's come full circle.
Why do you gravitate towards that one the most?
Um, the most fun I've had on Call of Duty throughout its years happened to be just the Modern Warfare series. Um, Modern Warfare 1, the original Modern Warfare 1, I didn't play that much of because I came like right after that came out. But I did play it afterwards, like here and there, but not enough to say I played it fully. Modern Warfare 2, I played a lot. I got to like max rank. Modern Warfare 3 is where I started getting really good at Call of Duty. And because I played too much at that point. I was a little kid, and I was learning shit, watching YouTubers and all that. So I got more invested. And I had like friend groups, like kids from school and shit, and would play MW3 and just like have full teams, just chat and bullshit, but like religiously. So I played a lot of that, had a lot more memories on that game because of the community. And I started like getting into more YouTube stuff around that time. And Black Ops 2, which came out afterwards. Um, I wasn't a big fan of Black Ops 1, but Black Ops 2 ended up like taking the whole community by storm. I think it's most people's favorite Call of Duty game to this day. It's definitely mine. And that's when I really got into YouTube, doing like funny videos and trolling and all that back then. And it's evolved to what it is now. But it also started Black Ops 2. That's like the prime golden era of COD that most COD players wish they can go back to, or have a remastered version at least.
What would you say made Black Ops 2 so special? And before you answer, Peter, feel free to jump in and ask a question if you want.
Yes, of course.
So what made Black Ops 2 so special?
Black Ops 2 was special, I think, because of the community, and especially the YouTube community definitely took over that game. And I remember like seeing like the reactions people would have when they meet a YouTuber in game, like in their lobby. It's like memorable. It would be all over YouTube. It was just a lot more memories, a lot more activity in terms of videos and shit. That's when I definitely started, and I know a lot of people who are big today. I started with them too. So like seeing all these names go from start to finish is kind of, it's baffling, but makes you realize how long it's been too. Those were the golden days where we're all just kids. But
That's
yeah, everyone would play with everyone. Like I like YouTubers would play with like small YouTubers. Like it was like a big community. I mean, it doesn't exist like that anymore today, but like back then, it felt alive. Like the community made the game feel very alive. And some games in the future ended up taking that feeling away. And Modern Warfare 2019, the remastered version, I think that brought the community back. And yeah, Call of Duty's been struggling ever here and there. Warzone revived it, and Modern Warfare 2 is kind of like causing havoc currently in the community. So there's a lot of drama going on, a lot of changes, but ultimately everyone misses the good old Black Ops 2 days more than anything.
That's so cool. It's interesting to hear you talk about the community as this really nice, like, golden place, because I remember playing Call of Duty way back when I was a kid, and the joke I have running with my friends is, "Oh yeah, Call of Duty, where everyone's fucked your mom."
Yeah, mom's got around. But the community is definitely toxic. There's no secret there. But people go into it knowing it's toxic, and it's like a part of the game. It's like you need to talk shit to be a Call of Duty player. So like having the lobbies where like search and destroy lobbies where it's more intense, more investment, because it's like one life, one life. So people are more invested. And when you get to hear them like rage in the enemy team, you get to talk to the enemy team. There's a lot of shit talking going on. Some people just like enjoy the shit talking part, and they all know it's just fun and like shits and giggles it's for the culture. But some people obviously take it too far. Some people they're that people, and some very sensitive, and it's like a whole spectrum of people that make the community and give it its name and reputation. But there's also a lot of funny moments that happen in there, a lot of great memories that you just enjoy with friends, and friends really do make the memories. Or it could be YouTubers, it could be YouTube memories. Like it just a lot of moments to to capture on there. And a lot of it has to do with the voice chat and just interacting with people. And the community has to be there for that to exist.
Is the
So it's
community
nice to see it's
still
strong.
active like right now? Whenever you're online, is there still plenty of the voice chat in between matches?
Basically every game. There's always at least one person talking.
That's good. So there's always, at least somebody to spur on talking. Is mic like proximity based? How does the mic feature work when you're actually in the game?
So on regular multiplayer, it's also because it works differently in like the battle royale aspect of Call of Duty. But in the regular multiplayer, you get to hear your team, but in between rounds, like there's like an intermission period, like a final kill cam. Everyone's watching the kill cam, both teams. People look on the scoreboards, like little intermission, like maybe like a minute long. And during that time, you can like talk to the enemy teams in that little small window. So there's a lot of shit talking. There's a lot of GGs. There's a lot of like random cutoffs because people are just like mid screen when it gets cut off at the intermission. There's like a lot of silly moments that like I don't know. It's just like makes you laugh, and it's hard not to enjoy. But in terms of pre-game lobbies, like before the game actually loads in, like the whole like the map and everything. In pre-game lobbies, the whole lobby can talk to each other still. That's before you even get to know whose team's on who. So you're just like chit chatting, saying a lot of bullshit, uh, talking shit, people hoping they don't end up on your team. It's just like a lot of silliness, but it's definitely toxic, but like in the fun way.
Well, that's great to hear that the pregame lobby mics is still a thing for Call of Duty. I remember back in the days of 360, um, a game I used to play a lot was Halo. And pregame lobby in Halo was always loud and rambunctious. You
Oh
would
yeah.
be just screaming at each other and being like, no, don't vote for that map. That map's trash. And then you'd be like looking at each other's ranks. You'd be like, you've never even played this playlist. And screaming at each other, trying to put each other in a bad mood before you even get into the game. And like you said, Wolves, you hope that person that you just yelled at isn't on your team because then they're going to just screw you over in the game.
Exactly. Or like the shit talking will continue, and then they realize they gotta work together now and become friends, and they have like a little bond moment. Like they know they're just bullshitting, but now they gotta work together and shit. So it's kind of like funny. It's funny to see like how people interact in certain situations. But yeah,
That's so cool. Like I always remember it was just insult after insult because I was never good at Call of Duty. I played for many years until I became decent. And I still remember this little kid, I think he was from Mexico. He sent me a message. He typed out a message in between rounds where he was like, "You're only good for dying." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry."
yeah, that sounds like stuff that you would still be called today. Like the thing about the COD community is they're very brutally honest. Sometimes they're a little overboard, but for the most part, they're brutally honest. And if you're bad, like your reality is gonna show. You're gonna feel your reality if you're bad. Like people will remind you, just in case you forget how bad you are, until you eventually become not bad. And there's many ways to get better. You can watch pro pro players. You can watch how they play. You can watch their tips, their tricks, etc. You can play more. You can watch your kill cams. You can see how you died, why you died, how you can prevent it from happening again. There's always ways you can just improve, but it takes a mindset to want to. So it makes me they brought in this new game mode called ranked, and what it is it really you play it against your skill level, and it really shows you your rank for what it really is compared to like what you might think it is.
So
And
how
if you're a
does
Call of
bad
Duty.
player, your rank is going to stay a bad rank, and it won't allow you to improve higher unless you show you can actually improve higher. So there's actually a big scale to the ranking system. So there's a lot of different types of COD players, and most COD players are not like on the high scale. I think like I'm currently like a diamond player, which is there's still more to be made after diamond, but diamond is actually top 7% of COD players.
Top
So
7?
top 7%,
Wow.
and I'm trying to work towards crimson, which is top 3%. And I was one rank away last season, but season reset, so I got to work again. But there's the majority of the COD community isn't good, but they're all the same skill level that it feels like a casual experience. And the casual experience of COD is why it's such a household name, because it's a very casual. Anyone could just like hop on and play, have fun. Of course, there's going to be those few sweats, but they're in the minority of COD. Unless you are a sweat, and then you competing people against your same level, so you're gonna think everyone is. But there's different perspectives and different levels to COD.
It's definitely a reality is perception kind of thing. Like if you're a sweat, all you're gonna see is sweats.
Yeah, exactly. Like it really, they won't confirm it verbally, but the skill based matchmaking is in the game. It's heavily criticized, but it keeps the casual players against casual players, and sweats against sweats. So everyone has like an equal experience. So people who are casuals aren't getting like the game experience ruined from them against like going up against people like me. So it kind of feels like bullying in a way.
So you're saying skill-based matchmaking can be unfair sometimes?
No, it's too fair. It gets
Oh,
annoying that it's fair because sometimes it feels good to bully and like play against people who can't really shoot back. Then you get to like farm kills and it's just fun. But you don't gotta like think too much or sweat too much or take every game like it's a world championship because it does feel relaxing to just like not have to try that hard. But when you're trying your hardest every single game, it starts like draining your energy a lot faster. When every
Yeah,
game feels like a worldwide championship you got to play your life for.
yeah, I can imagine that being exhausting. I remember I bought Call of Duty Cold War for my birthday a couple years ago, and I guess the normal skill rating was just super low, or I was playing with casuals, and I was just marking everybody for a long time. And I was like, oh, okay, this is fun. I got like 16 kills on a match. That's really good. That's good for
Definitely
me.
gives you confidence too, ego boost. But ultimately, it is just fun to not have to try so hard here and there. So whenever I would get the chance to play with someone who isn't on like my level, they're more of like a casual player. Um, it gives me the opportunity to play against other casual players, so the skill matchmaking is more balanced out. So
oh,
even then, I get to enjoy like easier games with like people who are like playing who are intentionally bad or just naturally bad. I mean, so I get to like profit off them. It feels.
when playing ranked, what is there like a limit to how many ranks lower your partner can be? For example, if
Yeah.
you're gold, can you still play with like a crimson player?
So the order would be bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, crimson, and iridescent.
Okay.
So if you're anywhere from bronze to platinum, you can play with each other.
Oh, okay. That's pretty wide.
Hmm.
But let's say after platinum, you're a diamond like me. Um, you have to be minimum gold to play with me,
So that's
and
2 ranks
maximum
below?
crimson to play with ranked. Yeah, gold's 2 ranks.
Okay. That makes sense.
Platinum, then silver. But there's also 3 ranks for each division, like plat 1, plat 2, plat 3, then diamond, etc. But yeah, you have to be gold minimum to play with diamond player. But also, if you're a crimson player, you can only play with diamonds, crimsons, and iridescents.
Oh, okay.
So
So
once
it
you get
gets
crimsons, like you're fighting in that top 7%
so
exclusively.
the higher rank you get, the smaller of a skill gap you can play with for people lower than you.
Correct.
That makes sense. Is to keep the game more competitive the higher you get.
Keep the kids out.
Exactly. So the people in top 1% are fighting people in that top 1%
Keep
until
the kids
they're
out,
like
Clear
top
said.
250. There's a top 250 leaderboard people are fighting for in that top 1%.
Oh, damn.
So if you look at the names, it's usually just like pro players and like big competitive YouTubers and shit. But yeah,
I would
there's a
imagine.
lot of levels to it.
I would imagine the launch times for those games in the higher ranks are ridiculous.
See, I would watch those top 1%ers. Like I would watch their videos, I would watch their gameplays, see how they play, uh, see what movement tips they have, and try to adapt that, try to learn things going into like when I play. Like certain routes, certain spots that most people don't even like think to look at. But yeah, the more you learn, the more you have to offer to ranked, and you can bring that skill, and that skill usually shows like it reflects your actual rank. Like I used to be stuck at like platinum, and then I skyrocketed almost to crimson. I was like 1 rank away. So like the more I learned, and the difference there was because I actually like learned tips and tricks,
What would you
and I
say
kept on
tips and
learning.
tricks are that you learned that really helped you in that massive advancement there?
Movement. Modern Warfare 2 is currently criticized for being one of the slowest Call of Duties.
Mhm.
So movement and any benefit of movement is very like it's valuable, right? So there's this one pro player that I watch. His name is Shotzi. I love Shotzi. He is known for like discovering called Modern Warfare 2's like most efficient movement to get around the map. and the way he does it, he makes it look like he's like a dolphin, like flopping around all over the map, like super speed. Like his movement is very clean, and it's what's the word? It's very specific to him. Like if you get seen moving around too fast, you'd be called like you got that Shotzi movement. Like it's a popular term now because he invented it basically. And with his skill, a lot of people in those top 5%ers, they know, everyone knows who these people are, right? Because they learn from the best to become better. They're working on becoming the best themselves, right? So everyone knows the Shotzi movement. But the people who do, like, will be like top 5%ers, and their movement, their gameplay shows it. So again, just watch people better than you, and you kind of start replicating their gameplay subconsciously, where you learn things subconsciously or consciously, but you learn a lot regardless.
So you would say the best advice if you want to get better is just play and just watch people better than you and just really focus on what they're doing. Their micro game, not their macro.
Yeah, you just gotta also want to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want it, you'll be it.
It's all about mindset, I guess. You just gotta realize
part of that mindset will include learning how to be better, what better even looks like, right? And how you can get to A to B. You might fall somewhere in between, but it's still better than staying at A.
Mm-hmm.
Before I forget, I don't want to get sidetracked. You asked me about the voice chat. I said it was different in the Battle Royale. And what I meant by that was, sorry, the OCD is killing me. I had to get back to that one.
Mm-hmm. No, that's okay.
The Warzone, the Battle Royale said, the voice chat works with proximity. Like, you can hear your teammates, like your 3 teammates, like wherever you are.
Okay.
Like loud and clear.
Okay, that makes sense because you have like little radios to talk to each other.
Yeah, if that makes more sense. Like,
okay.
We can say that. But if you get near an enemy, like within range, like maybe I don't know the exact distance, but like not too far, like you're pretty close by. But if you get in range, you can actually hear the enemies. Like you can eavesdrop on them, or they can hear you. So you could like talk shit. You can call them out, or like come out the building with your hands up, or some stupid shit. Like you have all these like in-game voice chat moments that create, again, a lot more memories, a lot more silly content, right? So there's endless possibilities with that when it comes to voice chat. So you can hear the enemies, you can talk shit to enemies, you can eavesdrop them, you can sneak on them like a horror movie, like at their reactions, like their screams. There's so much shit you can do. But yeah, Call of Duty has a lot of good voice chat moments and a lot of memories worth having.
God, I just could imagine someone coming up to me while I'm playing and just doing the Jaws theme like that.
Yeah, people will play some music in their mic too, like, or some funny sound effects, some memes. There's a lot of shit like that. Or stream snipers who play your clips like in your mic, trying to like piss you off or some shit.
No,
people get creative.
Oh, that's terrible. And that's like the only battle royale that really does that.
No, it was originated in like the PUBG days. Like it's always been associated with like PUBG.
Oh.
I used to play a lot of PUBG back before that was like even like known. I played a lot of that game. And then Fortnite came out. They removed proximity chat. They made Battle Royale more popular. It became the face of Battle Royale. But they just originally copied PUBG, which copied H1Z1, which copied... I think it all comes down to Minecraft Hunger Games, to be honest. But like...
Oh, probably.
Yeah. They're all just copying the Hunger Games at this point. But anyway, it started... proximity chat was definitely popular in PUBG. It's what made PUBG even popular to begin with, was because of the memories and the content you can make on there. That's what like made it big. And I was always hoping they would return that. When the first Call of Duty Battle Royale came out, Blackout, they did not bring proximity chat, so I was disappointed. But I thought they were gonna do it in Warzone 2, not Warzone 2, but Warzone as well, the first one, and they did not. But however, Warzone 2, which is associated with Modern Warfare 2, they finally brought it back, and it brought back these potential content, these potential memories, and funny moments with friends. They brought that all back, and that's what's one of the things that like creating the community, bringing life back to it. People talk more. There were certain Call of Duties before that didn't enforce game chat. Like no one talked in it. No one had an incentive to talk in game chat, and the community felt dead, and those games did not succeed, and they got boring, and they're forgettable. But people think of the good old golden days of COD, and yes, the community is toxic, but they're also referring to like the life it gave with that too. Because it's like a double edged sword. It could be really fun and really toxic, but you need a both to have both.
Mhm.
But yeah, people associate that with the Black Ops 2 days because it allowed a lot of voice chat.
While we're on the topic of the battle royale mode, what makes the it's called Warzone, is that correct?
Yeah, that's the battle royale.
What makes Warzone different than other battle royales?
Hmm. One, you don't get to build in there, so that's pretty cool. Um, there is a third person mode.
Oh,
It's
that's
not too
exciting.
different there. Like that's been done before. Fortnite, PUBG did third person mode as well. H1Z1. Actually, most of them are all third person. I think what's unique about it is that it's actually first person, which isn't that common in battle royale. And in PUBG, you had the option to do third person and first person, and I think first person was the most popular version. But Call of Duty doing battle royale, having the first person is like people prefer that game style a lot more than third person. And I think that's what attracts a bigger player base because I think most FPS players are first person players, right?
Typically, yes.
And
Mhm.
what's different about it is they kind of just take different aspects from different battle royales, like the good parts of certain battle royales, and they put it into Warzone. So they take a lot of the good and they know what works, and they kind of implement that. So there's a lot of good in Warzone in terms of a battle royale standpoint. Like proximity chat, for example, that was a big one that can make or break a game for a battle royale. Like it creates life, or it can create a regular game, and that's something they borrowed. But they also borrowed everything from every battle royale at some point. I'm glad they didn't bring back like certain specialists,
What is a
like special
specialist?
like specialist power characters or like special abilities or anything like
Oh, okay.
crazy or outlandish.
Mm.
It's kind of like it feels realistic, but there's obviously some BS here and there. But they try to keep the realism aspect, and the realism I think is what stands out the most for Warzone compared to other battle royales, which are more cartoony or arcadey, which like allows more like fun, more movement. But this one's a little too realistic, too grounded, as realistic as they can be.
Mhm. That makes sense
A
because
lot
I played.
a lot of people do like realism more than cartoony.
That makes sense because I played a lot of Apex too, where it's just ridiculous sometimes.
It's a little hectic.
Hmm. It's like how did this happen? What? Where did you come from? Oh, I came from a zip line from my little friendly robot character. I'm like, okay. Or I came from a portal from my little friendly demon
Yeah,
character. I
imagine
forgot.
portals in Warzone. Like it doesn't it's just so far out there.
So
But
that's
yeah, I'm
kind
glad
of
it doesn't
really
have
what
like
sets it
special
apart. It's just
power ups
kind
or
of
anything.
straightforward and direct. It
Yeah.
focuses more on the person to person combat because it's primarily first person, which a lot of other battle royales don't do. They, like you said, have a lot of third person modes. So it sets itself apart by being very competitive in the shooting aspect of it. Whenever you play battle royale, there is how many players in the match?
Um Originally like most battle royales are associated with like 100 players max, but Warzone ended up pushing that barrier to like 150.
Oh,
So I
wow.
think now the
Wow.
standard for like Warzone is like 150. However, there's like Warzone, and then they have like a more miniature version of Warzone, which is more like a faster paced, smaller map. So it's like a lot more action packed, and I think that has like 75 people or something like that because of the size of the map. But yeah, there's different. There's always action. Like there's always someone to go up against. Having the 150 player count, so it feels like it's a lot less slower.
Would you say that you prefer the smaller or the bigger battle royale mode?
Personally, I like the bigger ones when I'm playing with like friends. When I'm playing solo, whatever, I would like smaller maps because more action packed and it's less looting, less traveling, less time. It's just more action packed and more of a fast pace.
It definitely sounds quicker.
Yeah, I like the more fast paced stuff. I don't like looting for like 20 minutes just to get into my first battle and then die. It's like, damn, what am I
Right.
doing with my
It's,
life?
it's
Leaves you like feeling empty.
anticlimactic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, if you want to switch to more talking about the content aspect of making YouTube videos about Call of Duty, you mentioned you do trolling videos. So, what does that really entail?
So it's heavily focused on the game chat aspects of Call of Duty, having the ability to get reactions from people. Uh, people like to do voice changers. People like doing like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like voice modifiers.
Oh yeah, the voice modulation.
Yeah, yeah. Like I forgot what word I'm looking for, but not high tune, auto tune. Yeah, auto.
Oh,
That's the
okay,
word.
gotcha.
Yeah, people like doing auto tune stuff, and again, it's all about getting reactions from people. You can sing to them. You can flirt with them. You can people would bully people back in the day, but you can do all types of things just to get reactions. Um, things are frowned upon. Things are heavily enjoyed, but there's all different types of people out there.
What is
remember a
your
long
favorite
time ago.
style? Sorry, go ahead, Peter.
Oh, I just to talk on the voice modulation. I remember there used to be videos of some guy pretending to be Obama, telling people to sign up for the Healthcare Act. And
People
I loved
pretend to
those
be Obama.
videos. People were pretending to be Obama and just saying like, "Hey, you should sign up for the healthcare," and they would literally like say the link for the website on voice
Like
chat.
promo.
Yeah, like just hey, you should sign up for the Affordable Health Care Act. Here's the link. It's www dot, and I'm just like, what is this? And they're like, oh my god, is it really you, Obama? I was like, no, of course not. But
Yeah, like celebrity trolls. Like I've seen someone do like Donald Trump before. Uh, Joe Biden troll. There's like all types of possibilities, and I think the more creative you get with it, the more your content sticks out
definitely.
because certain extremes of content can give like a higher range of reactions, right? And you want like the best reactions, the most entertaining reactions, the most like what the fuck kind of reactions. But yeah, trolling and having the ability to voice chat and voice modify, it creates a lot of potential. So that's my favorite would be like voice trolling.
That's cool. Um, with the recent invention of like those AI voice generating apps, does that play a part into creating those videos, or has it not come to that yet?
I'm pretty sure it has come to that already. I haven't seen any, but I think having a soundboard with pre-recorded because the soundboard trolling already exists and people are really good at that. So I'm pretty sure having AI voice modified, putting that on a soundboard, I feel like someone's already done that most likely. And when it comes to AI, it's still new. People are still getting creative. People are doing things I didn't even expect was like fathomable. But yeah, AI is getting a little crazy, a little too fast, but it's only going to get faster, and that's the crazy part. So yeah, someone's definitely already done that, and I see most likely someone's going to find a way to do it live. Like it's only going to get more advanced.
Mm. Yeah, because
But
I've
yeah,
seen little videos of people putting Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and Obama in like voice chats, and they're having like real relatable Discord conversations, and I'm like, and the voices are perfect. Like Obama saying like, "Yeah, I would fuck that person," and I'm like, well, "That's how," and I'm like, "AI, yeah, duh." And I'm wondering if that has come to Call of Duty troll videos and things like that yet.
I'm pretty sure it has, and if not, it will soon.
Do you personally have any intention in using any AI innovations to help improve your videos in the sense of the trolling?
In sense of the trolling, I have not thought of anything, but I have been using AIs for like generators for some ideas or generators for titles or something like that. And now I recently saw, I haven't tried it yet though, but I recently saw that there's an AI that creates thumbnails by just like, typing in a few words and how you want it to look. And it'll just AI generate a whole thumbnail. Because creators are definitely using AI more than you think. And again, the innovations are just getting started. There's a lot more to come. And I can't even imagine the possibilities, but I'm along for the ride. And what I find most useful, I'll try to adapt.
That's definitely so cool because I remember like the hardest part for me after editing and recording and all that stuff when I used to do YouTube was, oh, now I got to make a goddamn thumbnail and it's got to be good and it's got to be relatable and it's got to be clickable. Ugh, just more work. So to think to be able to offload that to an AI would be amazing.
Exactly.
I wish I had that 7 years ago.
Exactly. Like the creations now definitely make things a lot more easier. And I think the more we grow as a species, the more lazy we are. So we need more efficiency, the more faster things are. I think the AI is just going to keep getting better and better to make lives as a human a lot more convenient.
Which AI tools do you currently use to improve your work?
Names I can't give you at the moment
Okay,
because I
fair
don't
enough.
remember them by heart. I kind of just like have like
Mhm.
I got to look for them again. I haven't used them in a while, but definitely I'm still trying to learn more about them. I'm only using a couple at the moment, but I think the most popular one people would use would be like ChatGPT. I think that one's like good for uh give me a script for a good horror movie where and it would just like type out a whole fucking script like out of random, but you can like customize it. You can be like uh make it more sinister or more menacing, and it would just like take these feedback notes. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a popular one.
Definitely. I've used ChatGPT before on my entrance essay for a university I'm trying to go to, and it went into super amazing detail about what I could improve and all this stuff. So I can imagine that would be a very useful tool.
Yeah, definitely. You can like ask for titles there as well. You can ask for how to break up with your girlfriend. There's like so much. It's like a new Google in a way. You can just ask all these ridiculous questions. You can have it do stuff for you,
Mm,
give you information, give you templates for things. Like write me a song. Boom, like new career started. You're a songwriter. Like it makes like so much things more easier and things you didn't expect to be at the tip of your hand.
it's definitely like
It's
a
definitely
Google
been a game
2.0.
changer.
Yeah, definitely. It's groundbreaking, I would say.
So,
But yeah,
looking at your YouTube page, it seems that you have been live streaming lately. So, how has that been going?
live streaming, it's a fun experience. I'm still new to it in a way because I've always been more of a video maker, behind the scenes kind of person. But being live is me intentionally going out of my element intentionally putting myself in uncomfortable positions because I'm not really a live spoken person. But that's me getting out of my comfort zone. And during that, I learned new things, how to like provide certain types of entertainment, provide certain types of content while being live under pressure. And the most enjoyment I found out of streaming would be interacting with chat as if like we're all like in a room just chilling and hanging out. And I have the ability to talk to anybody. Like I've known them my whole life. And I'm very chill with anybody. So I talk to that chat the same way I'm talking to you guys right now. And I think people pick up on that energy. And again, all I care about personally is like talking to a chat. So chat likes to ask me stupid ass questions. They like to say a lot of silly things or they try to troll me, and I'm not really trollable. So it's like they pick off the certain energy I give, and it goes back and forth. It just bounces back and forth. And I treat every conversation as if like again they're all chilling in my room. We're all just having fun and goofing
Mhm.
around. And I just be myself. I try to make them laugh here and there. If not, I'm focused on the game. I'm trying to do my best to entertain for people who care about that. And I'm trying to go both ways. As long as people are chatting, I'm willing to keep on talking, and I'll like talk forever if you would let me. You know what I mean? But I'm really heavily invested on chat specifically more than anything.
I get you.
So
What's some of the most outrageous stuff you've heard streaming?
Um, some of the most outrageous stuff I heard streaming,
Yeah. Like, what if
like
people
on
tried to
game
say
chat
to
or like
you,
on chat.
like in chat, like, what if people tried to say to you while you were streaming to make you, like, break this chill persona that you have?
I don't know about breaking the chill persona. I feel like even when I'm like goofing around, I'm like I still have the chill persona.
Mm,
Like no matter which like angle I take or no matter how I sound, I usually just sound chill.
I
But
get
I
you.
keep that as like my main like aspect of my appeal in terms of like how I interact with chat. I just keep it chill, and the whole brand I try to give off is chill vibes.
well, you definitely seem to embody that.
Hmm.
Uh, just based on your streams and your videos, you do embody the chill, kind of keep it cool, even whenever you're joking and jabbing at people. And I think that's kind of what sets you apart from other people, at least in this space, because a lot of people are a lot more high energy and screaming and using uh, epithets and languages,
Yes, that sounds
whereas for
off
the most
brand for
part,
me.
you keep everything exactly. It keeps you keep everything pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Okay, that's a word, but I don't know. It's just my natural personality off camera. On camera, it's just like I know it's who I am off camera, and I decided to embody it, embrace it. I'm not very like loud, outgoing person. Like I'm very social. Like you can put me in a group of people, and I'll be like very social. I have no problem with social skills. I love talking to people, and when I start talking, I'm really good at it. Uh, I like words. I have a way of words, and I try to make sure I have a strong vocabulary. I don't talk a certain way. I think I talk very unique. I've been told very proper, even though I'm not like a proper person or anything like that. But I'm very chill. I'm very laid back. But because of the way I talk and the way I think it's I would say it's different than most people. I think that's what people find interesting. If I was to self-analyze,
Well, sometimes
Makes
I think
sense.
it's
Makes
good to
sense.
self-analyze, and it's good to hear from the creator themselves.
Mm.
mm.
It's good sometimes to pull the veil back and see what's really going on.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't feel like I have. I feel like I'm very transparent as a person, like naturally. Because what I do is I kind of just think out loud.
Hmm.
That's like how I talk. When I'm talking, I'm just thinking out loud. I went into this whole thing like completely blind, not knowing what I was going to say. I had nothing prepped, nothing prepared. I just legit think out loud and then react to what I said. So yeah, I
Would you
say
say
before I speak. Sorry.
would you say that is reflected in your creative process? Do you just kind of go about it in an open, free form kind of way? Or behind the scenes while creating things, are you a lot more meticulous?
How do you mean?
Okay, I guess the better question is, uh, what is your creative process?
My creative process. Um, well, when it comes to Thug Love and the content I'm known for, when I get into character, the gay thug character, it's so out of my personality. Like if you listen to me right now and then you look up the Thug Love character, you can be like, who the fuck? However, it goes both ways. If you listen to the Thug Love character and you listen to me talk right now, you're gonna go, who the fuck? So because of my previous like acting and doing voice acting now, getting into character has some is like I think that's the most fun part. Try to become a character that's entirely not how people would associate you with. So having to like talk a certain way, having to say things a certain way, but all doing it spontaneously, all doing it live, all doing it like in the moment with no preparation. I feel like that's where like the true fun begins. And fun fact, when I'm recording the gay thug character, um, I've never done it sober. So part of my creative process is I either get high or I would get tipsy and I would hit the record button and I would record, not record. Well, yeah, record for like a good, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes saying a lot of stupid one-liners, a lot of stupid unused footage basically. And it would take me an actual while to get into character before I start saying stuff worth hearing. So I'm not talented enough in terms of like I could just flip on a switch and I'll be in character. But part of my creative process and getting out of my comfort zone to become something entirely different, uh, I don't recommend. But for me, it's not being sober. Me being able to completely not be my default uh, walled self, because I do believe I have a shell around me. Me being a regular, being monotone doesn't really offer a lot of character change, right? But me playing a whole different character and adapting to that is a fun process, and I believe the outcome is worth it because most of the time I don't even remember what I even recorded. But when I'm editing during the editing process, if I start like laughing, like I start like actually enjoying the stuff I don't even remember saying, that's how I know it's like okay, I'm gonna keep this in the video. And then I get very I don't know if I have OCD or not, but I get very I'm like a perfectionist when it comes to like what I choose. And there's like uh, maybe like 70% of unused footage compared to the public stuff that's on my channel. There's like a lot of deleted footage because some things were very funny, but during the editing process, it wasn't as funny to me. So I'm constantly taking things out and changing my mind on it sometimes here and there. But like the process of what I finalize on is very par- particular. Sometimes I cut off time to make things flow better. Sometimes I would uh I'll cut out a lot of clips just to make it not feel like it's going dragging on forever or make clips have a bigger impact. But I'm always over analyzing it. I'm always overthinking it. And once I start the editing process, I get into like that kind of mindset, that creative, uh, perfectionist mindset, and it takes me longer than it should to even complete it. And when I do complete it, I feel like I put in a lot of effort into this video because the amount of time I spent in the creative process of it to the point where like I'm very picky with what kind of like thug love video I post nowadays. And I have such high standards. I don't want to like post anything less than that when it comes to thug love. But because of
Oh,
those high standards, I feel like it makes it hard to replicate. It makes it hard to top.
for anyone outside of the audience or anyone unfamiliar, what is Thug Love?
That's a good
Thug
question.
Love is a
That's so
series.
fast.
Thug Love is a series that me and my best friend Better Chicken do, and we play gay thug characters. He plays Jerome, and I play Jaquavius, and it's a voice It's a voice changer that makes our voice sound like a super deep, brolic black dude.
Okay.
Even though I already have a deep voice, using the voice changer to make it sound even deeper just gives it this unique, distinct voice that gives a lot of specific reactions. I get people instantly react to my voice when I speak using it. And I don't want to say this out loud, but it does attract a lot of people in game chat. And it makes playing the character even more easier because people are already feeling a certain way when I speak. And I take advantage of it. So some people, I'll say like, "Hey yo," will like put the super deep voice changer on, and someone
Mhm.
be like, "God damn, your voice is deep and hard as fuck." Like they'll say stupid shit like that, and then me playing the gameplay character, I would capitalize on what they're saying because they're making it too easy for me to go like,
Right, they
if
set
you,
you up.
yeah,
Mhm.
like I play off their reactions, and that's how I go about my improv and my improv jokes, and just like I would say I'm fast witted. I would say I'm a fast thinker, and what they say I reply to very naturally in character, and it catches them off guard because like they don't even know what's going on because like they're coming home from their 9 to 5, they just want to chill on the couch, play some Call of Duty, and
Mhm.
then they hear me, they don't know what the fuck's going on, but sometimes they play along with it. Sometimes they give like genuine homophobic and racist reactions. Sometimes they know it's a character, and they just go along with it and have fun. So it's all different types of reactions. But yeah, it's a fun process overall.
So whenever you're getting people riled up and they're reacting and lashing out, what are some of the responses that you throw out whenever you let me rephrase the question. Do you have any catchphrases or go-to responses to kind of farm a reaction from somebody that you know will spur them on?
Yeah, like what's your number one line for this? What is if I were to put Thug Love on a poster, what is the tagline?
So my favorite personal line, there's a lot of iconic quotes in the Bug Love series. My favorite personal line, like I would say, it's my catchphrase, the Jaquavius character, is well, one of the most common reactions I get when I speak would be like, "God damn, your voice is deep," right? I get that in so many various different ways, but it's ultimately like that same reaction. So my always go to is I just like brush it off, like, "Oh, it's a puberty thing. Don't worry about it. It happens." They're just like just so casually, and like a puberty thing, like what the fuck? Like, hey puberty, like do you think I hate puberty like 10 different times? And it's just like it's my go-to catchphrase whenever I hear that kind of reaction of like, damn, your voice is deep. But yeah, it's just a puberty thing.
Does the character Jaquavius have a set backstory and sort of a lore to go off of, or do you just make it up as you go?
Actually, there was a lore I was writing originally. It was so stupid that I never actually like mentioned it, but it was there when I was creating the character. Um, well, people who watch the Doug Love, they know Jerome, and Jerome had this series where he would play Outlast, and he was trying to rescue his boo boo Terry from
Okay.
like the Outlast villain or whatever. Like
Mhm.
the search for Terry was like the ongoing theme of the series, and originally the idea was for me to adopt that Terry person and make that the character. This is before the Jaquavius got his name. Originally, it was supposed to be Terry, and that was gonna be like the lore for the Thug Love, like having it all make sense and have it tie into everything. But yeah, it was supposed to be a setup for like me coming out as Terry. But yeah, we're planning that for a while. But that's a fun fact there.
Oh, that you were going to be Terry?
Yeah, originally
Oh, wow. That would have
at
been
the
a
end
good
we ended
plot
up deciding
twist.
to keep it as part of the Outlast thing because he wanted to wait for Outlast 3 to come out,
Mhm.
Mhm.
like continue that series. So we ended up like changing the name. And last second we decided Jaquavius. But yeah, it's a little fun fact of how the name or the character was even started. It was supposed to be like all lore oriented. But for
Right.
the
Like
most
a,
part, all the improv and all the bullshit we say during the improv kind of creates its own lore altogether. because we'll kind of bring certain jokes we said in the past into future videos and like have it all like tie in or be like like longer fans will like recognize certain jokes or recognize certain topics.
Ah, you're making callbacks to your own
Yeah, like
content,
yeah,
kind of
callbacks.
continuing it on. That
Yeah, I
makes
love
sense.
movies, so I try to make things give that movie vibe, that cinematic vibe.
Mhm.
And sometimes I get a little too cinematic with like the vibe I'm trying to give off. But I'm trying to like have it all be like a series, if that makes sense. Having like my stuff tie into Jerome's stuff on both channels, and being that I'm the editor for both channels,
Mhm.
I have that ability to give that sort of direction. That's why I dropped two compilation videos of the Doug Love series and called them movies because I had it like envisioned a certain way, and those movies were how I envisioned it because it was two separate movies, and it was supposed to like tie into like a third one where it's like a mixture of both of us collabing. But that's like a future, maybe Christmas thing I'm working on. But yeah, that takes two people to make though, so we'll have to come back to that.
That makes sense. Is there anything else you're currently working on?
Mainly, I would say I'm working on like rebranding the vision I have for the channel and my plans for expanding past all the Doug Love stuff altogether and expanding different directions and what avenues I want to explore. Having that all like officialized in my brain, like planning ahead before I even like start doing anything. But ultimately, the goal is to expand past Doug Love, even though I'm heavily known for it and been doing it for too many years. Like I want to expand past that as a creator.
Right, you're trying to like not typecast yourself.
Yeah, because most people who follow me for this long don't even know how I sound. You probably heard me more than my own, like my own audience, to be honest. Like that's how much I don't talk in my videos, and if I do talk, it's in character. So that goes back to why I tried live streaming and slowly getting into it because it's again my way of breaking out of my comfort zone. And again, I'm known for one thing, so I'm trying to be I'm trying to build comfort being something else, which that something else is myself in this case. So that's why I'm enjoying talking to chat because they're actually getting to know me and talking to them directly and getting to know them feels like again, it feels like I'm in a room with a group of friends, we're all just chilling and we're all just having a good vibe. And everyone who comes into my chat, everyone I interact with, like enjoys that good vibe. And I think it's why it works. And people who don't even talk, they just come to chill. They'll talk to me off stream, saying, "Yo, I watched that your stream. It was very chill. I had it on my TV." And they would just like listen to me just chat because I don't know, just me chatting gives off a certain vibe. They like, and I think that attracts a certain amount of a certain type of viewer. And I appreciate them as much as just as much as I appreciate the people who do chat. So just knowing people are coming to see me, I think that's a comforting feeling. And so I'm trying to work on just building that comfort as being myself. So if
Yeah,
someone's there to listen to me chatting or not chatting, like I know they're there just to see me be myself. So I appreciate them nonetheless.
it's probably very cathartic, just like finally being yourself after being this other person for so long, and people are just like enjoying it and just like, oh, that's Wolves. That's who he really is. That's so cool. I want to see this. I want to chill with this guy. This guy's awesome.
Yeah, it's a unique experience, I would say, for me especially. And I think that's why I'm enjoying it. It's still not the most comforting thing in the world for me being live, but it's something I do enjoy and I'm trying to get more comfortable with. The cathartic is it's a big word, interesting word. But yeah, part of showing myself and like, oh my god, that's Wolves. Like this is who he really is. Part of being comfortable showing you guys who I am, also like trying to figure out who I am to be as well. So I've been building my own self, been building my own mindset off camera for a very long while now. I've been working on being mentally strong and physically strong and just leveling up personally before I am personally invested in like getting to know my chat, getting to like my chat to know me, deciding what I even want to bring to the table in terms of content, like what I even want to do. I've been trying to like decide who I am, who is Wolves, and what I want to do. Because again, I don't want to be just stuck to Thug Love. I want to expand past that. What does that look like? You know, what's the next question would be, okay, what does it look like? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen next? What are you gonna do? And these are questions I'm still deciding what the answers are. I'm on the fence about a few things, and I am currently struggling with holding myself back in terms of starting because I know I am the type of person that once I start something, I can't stop. But starting has always been the biggest, hardest thing for me. That even includes going live, right? Like hitting the go live button is probably one of the most hardest things for me in the world. But like once I'm live and people start chatting, I start getting that comfortable feeling of like, okay, just relax. And I'll start like chatting, and then the more I chat, the more I just forget. And I just chill in the moment and just like chatting. And I'm just like vibing again. But hitting that go live button was probably, and I think a lot of creators relate to the struggle. Is it's difficult hitting the go live button for people who aren't comfortable with that. And it's part of me enforced like trying to get myself out of my comfort zone by forcing myself out of it whenever I do hit that go live button.
I personally can understand that. About an hour ago, before we started this recording, I was nervous. I was feeling a little anxious, and I was just feeling dumb about it because I'm like, This isn't like some big production. I'm not doing anything massive. I'm talking to two people I already know in a environment that I'm comfortable with, but nonetheless, getting into this recording studio was difficult for me because of just arbitrary anxiety. So I can definitely
Mhm.
understand what you meant about just hitting the go live button. We were about 15 minutes late from the time I decide, from the time Peter and I want to go live, and there's no one to blame other than me just being anxious for no reason.
See, to like double down on what you're saying is I still feel the same way. Like even this is difficult for me, but I'm still doing it. And I
Mhm.
decided to go in blindly, not knowing what to expect to add more pressure to myself. And so far I've actually been enjoying the conversation, not knowing what the next conversation is going to be about. But again, just think out loud. Like we went from Call of Duty history to content creation to like perspective behind content creation. So I'm all board for like just like chatting about random shit. Because like once I start getting into the conversation, I start like actually forgetting like that I'm live. I start forgetting that I'm like
Mhm.
talking to like a separate audience outside of these three boxes that we're all in. It's like I just live in the moment and then just like I block out sound.
That's so crazy to think about because every time I go live on like Twitch or whatever, I can never forget that I'm live. Like it's just always like, I'm live. I gotta, and I don't know. I just, it's crazy. It's crazy, and definitely that go live button is a challenge sometimes because I'm like, okay, am I set up? Is my stream good? Is my screen good? Have I set everything up correctly? Now I gotta go live. Now I gotta do it. I gotta finalize. Ugh.
Mm. You know, it's a very common thing. And I think a lot of even big streamers deal with it too. The thing is, you're supposed to play it off as if you're not nervous, regardless of how you feel,
Mhm.
until you actually don't feel nervous.
It's like fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
In a way, yeah. Basically, it's just like you anticipate like what at least what I do is I anticipate I'm going to feel nervous. I'm going to feel a lot of anxiety. However, I still want this, right? So sometimes like I'll like look at the Goliath button and be like, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. But like I'll force my hand to just hit it. And then like I'd be staring at the live button. I'm like, damn, I'm live right now. Fuck. Like, what do I do? I gotta say something now. I didn't think this far ahead. And I'll like just roam around the game. I'll like think about like random. I'll start like narrating out loud what I'm doing in the game, just like anything to fill in the gap, fill in the space I didn't plan for. Waiting for that one person to chat, and then when that one person chats, like okay, okay, I could talk, and I know that relief comes from knowing that once I start like talking, once I start like actually enjoying like what I'm doing, like talking to chat and stuff like that, that feeling of anxiety goes away. Uh, you start feeling more comfortable, just like being able to talk, and that's what I mainly want to do is just talk, right? So I'm still learning how to talk to myself for when I'm not talking to people. That's something I struggle with.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people struggle with, but I'm acknowledging that because it's something I do want to improve on. But yeah,
You want to
having
improve on your self-talk?
yeah self talk and thinking out loud like while I'm playing for when there's no chatters or when there's no people talking, right? Because some people again they don't chat, they just want to watch and listen, right? So I got to
Mhm.
think about people like that and find a way to self talk to pass the time to fill in the gaps. But it's something I will admit that I struggle with. I think a lot of people do.
I definitely feel that because when I first started streaming, something that videos I would watch was like, yeah, you gotta talk to yourself for a while until someone pops in, and then you can talk to them. But like, no one wants to come into a stream where the guy's just like not saying anything. It's just off-putting.
Yeah, so you got to be self aware. And
Especially
even
if you
though,
stream on Twitch because
yeah,
they have those front rolled ads. So you click on a stream and you decide, I'm gonna sit through these 2 ads real quick,
I waited
whatever.
for this.
And
Yeah,
then
like
like
yeah,
Peter says, the person just sitting there, and then they're like, oh hey, look, somebody's in. Oh, they're already gone. Never mind.
yeah, like because that's the thing. Twitch is like, by the time you realize someone is there, they're probably already gone.
Yeah, exactly. Because like you get like five within like 2 seconds, within like 2 to 5 seconds, people have made their decision if they're gonna want to stay or not.
Hmm.
So what I would do, what I normally do is I never actually look at the view count when I'm live, never once. I look at all that stuff after it's already ended. So when I'm live, I don't even know who's watching. I don't know how many people are watching. I just know that I gotta act a certain way as if someone is watching, right? And that comes into self-talk, that comes into passing the time, knowing that any point of the sentence, someone can just hop in. And again, they have 2 seconds, 2 to 5 seconds to decide whether they want to stay or not, whether they're interested or not, whether they care to invest more than 5 seconds. They decide that instantaneously. All right. So having the self-talk, having that ability to be self-aware plays into a big aspect of terms of like how people are going to watch you, how people are going to see your streams, and you gotta if you think with the mindset of how people are seeing your streams, you know you gotta act a certain way as if you would want to watch this person stream, right? So there's a lot of mental games that go into it, a lot of preparation, a lot of mental awareness that has to go into it.
It's like you got to be aware that you're streaming, but also give off the impression that you're not streaming.
Yeah, because the more you start thinking, the more rapid your mind is going in terms of analyzing all that. You starts feeling more natural,
Mm.
and you kind of just like you get used to the fact that you're streaming. You start like it's more of like time based for me. Like after a while, I get used to that I'm streaming, and I kind of just like stop caring. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm so like focused on chat at that point that I don't even like care that I'm
Yeah, it's like
streaming. It's just like I'm already in the zone. But getting into that zone, I would say is a climb.
yeah, the kind of flow state when you're creating that you try to reach. I get what you mean.
Yeah, because when you're high and you only get higher, you're still high. So it's like, yeah, I'm already this far up. Might as well keep on going. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But getting to the point from the bottom to like calling this high or high enough is like it's a climb. It's literally a climb. Building that comfortability in terms of like going live and being okay while being live. because anxiety works differently for everyone. But ultimately, you just gotta want the mindset enough that it actually happens. And for me, that's being self-aware as best I can. That's why I take all types of criticism, all types of feedback. I can take it. I have thick skin, and I feel like I use the harshness. I use the reality of how people like receive things, and I try to be self-aware of it going into things and learning from that and adapting that and etc. But yeah, being big on constructive criticism.
I think that's really good. I think that's very introspective. And I think anyone that wants to be a streamer can definitely take away from what you just said.
Hmm.
You just have to want it.
Now, do you have a streaming schedule or anything when you do finally hit that go live button? How long do you try to stream for?
I try to stream for at least an hour to 2 hours. If I happen to go more than that, that's because I'm having a good time. But if I'm not, I'll give like a 2 hour mark. But in terms of schedule, I don't have a specific schedule because my week to week basis changes like every week in terms of like when I'm available, when I'm not available. To the point where I don't have a set schedule. So it kind of just like I like to stream when I have nothing going on and I have nothing to worry about and I have no other priorities because YouTube is not actually my main priority.
Mhm.
YouTube is something I kind of just do. I don't make uh, a lot of my money from YouTube. Most of my money comes from like day trading and the markets and investments, stuff like that. So I'm more
Mhm.
focused on crypto stuff than I am on YouTube. However, YouTube is a big aspect of my life. But yeah, it's not my primary focus. So again, my schedule with when I'm free is what determines like when I decide to stream and how I feel if I feel like streaming. But I would want to stream more. I would want to have the mindset of like let's stream like constantly. But my focus isn't necessarily on YouTube as much as I would want it to be.
Well, I mean, it honestly sounds like you have n- bigger priorities.
Right. It sounds like you
Something
got
like
your
that. Yeah,
priorities.
I have to. Like I know which direction I'm going in life, and I have to prioritize that part first.
Unless you don't want to get too deep into it, what does your personal life look like? What do you do from the day to
I'm
day?
gonna I tend to keep that private.
Oh,
I
that I
kind of like
totally
having
respect
a
that.
private life. I'm as transparent as I can get, but like when it comes to private life,
Mhm.
I kind of enjoy having that not associated with my name. But I do other things besides wolves related stuff. Um, I won't talk about it too much. But one of those things, Andy, you already know, is I do music. I go by a whole different name, and I keep that completely separate from wolves related entities at all. But my personal life is a mixture of a lot of different lives, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah,
And
and I
I use
apologize
each
if I
life that
felt.
I have to. No, no, you're fine. I use each life that I have to like treat certain personality traits. Like,
Right.
yeah,
We all.
I'm very calm. Sometimes I seem emotionless in like right now, but like I'll save all that energy for when I'm like writing or performing and stuff like that. But yeah,
Right.
my private life consists of many lives.
Right. We all wear different masks at times and wear different hats. Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah, it's like someday it might be a wolf, someday it might be a giraffe. Who knows?
I might even grow down to a penguin. Who knows?
Yeah, I could be a platypus. I could be all sorts of things. You never know. But my private life is a mixture of all that.
As far as your streaming career, do you have any streams planned for the near future or a video scheduled that we can maybe start promoting?
Promoting,
Mhm.
um, no, it's something I have available to promote at the moment. The things I do have planned, I like keeping it a surprise until the moment of. And
That's a
in
good
terms of
strategy.
like dates, in terms of when to stream, stuff like that, I don't like saying specific numbers or dates because things change,
Mhm.
and I don't like saying one thing and then doing a different thing. So kind of just like keep everything to moment of, and I like the aspect of whoever catches it in that moment and shows up. Kind of, I like having that aspect of things. In terms of videos, I recently just posted up an interview, which is different, which is very different than the
An interview?
yeah the racist interview.
Would you
Yeah.
mind touching on it just a little bit for those listening?
Mhm.
Um, there was beef between uh the people who were associated with the Dog Love community, and one side with one party was saying things, was speaking about a private matter. We started bringing that to the public, and one side wasn't able to defend himself, and me having the backup footage just in case a moment like this. I was instructed to make things more public because one party wasn't able to speak his side. So I made it public so he can speak his side, and people have the ability to formulate their own opinions rather than he said, she said. And I post that in full length, and people are making their own opinions for themselves rather than me telling them how to feel. So I kept a neutral party in that sense. And yeah, that's unlike the normal content I would post on my channel. But however, I do plan on switching up my content. And part of that would be finding ways for me to talk more, right?
Mhm.
I recently did a stream where we talked about controversial topics with me and a couple other content creators. And that was like a 5-hour stream. It was basically a podcast, or like a long podcast at that point. And I actually enjoy that because one, it was completely different than what I'm used to, like what I'm known for. And I enjoy just talking. I enjoyed people getting the ability to actually see my thought process and how I think. And I've been told I have strong opinions. Even like people in my life, my personal life, like saw that, and like they came to me, asking me questions afterwards, saying it was like really interesting to get to see the side of you, seeing your takes on all this, like having insights on me as a person and how I think. People enjoy that. It was very polarizing, but that was the point. Spark conversation, and I feel like videos and similar to that in terms of like talking about topics, talking about certain things, addressing certain things. I feel like I kind of want to lean into that type of content moving forward, where I get to just like talk and just like discuss my opinions on things because I feel like people might be interested in that. Like, and I think that live stream showed me that. But yeah, the past couple of contents I've made have been podcast style videos, basically. So
I guess such as this one
I've,
right now.
yeah, like this one, like back to back to back. I've been enjoying it, just like having outlets to talk and be myself, and kind of like practice streams in a way. But yeah, that's the content I want to start doing going forward, is making more content where I get to talk.
Well, I personally look forward to it. Our
Definitely.
list for our listeners, I'm big in Wolves community. I'm pretty active, which is how I know him, and glad he was willing to come on my show or our show. Sorry, Peter. Um, and
No, it's
I'm
just Annie's show. I'm just here for the ride.
And I'm just really glad that we really got to kind of open you up and get to hear from the creator, because it's not something you can kind of get anywhere else in a than in a long form content like or long form, yeah, like this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been enjoying long form content lately. I even started like listening to like podcasts. Normally, I would just listen to music, whatever. Like listening to like longer length podcasts, I started enjoying as well as being a part of. But yeah, I feel like a lot of newer people are getting into that kind of stuff compared to like short term content such as like TikTok and YouTube Shorts. I feel like having long term content is like a good balance too.
Mhm.
Do you have any advice for content creators that are listening or aspiring content creators?
Um, you just have to want it. You have to want it really bad. You have to want it more than other people, and you have to be prepared to do as much work, regardless of how you feel, if you want it to the point, because you're going to be in competition against people who want it, regardless of how they feel, and they'll still do things because it's endless competition. And you have to be able to be realistic with yourself. You got to be able to be harsh on yourself. You got to be able to take all types of hatred, expect the hatred, all types of criticism, expect the criticism, learn about criticism to actually adopt, learn which ones to acknowledge as bullshit, and being able to critique yourself in ways you don't want to in order for you to grow, because you only will grow in discomfort. If you feel comfortable, you're not growing. Hate to break it to you. And you just gotta be real. You gotta want it, because if you really truly want something, you will find a way to get it. Right?
Absolutely. Those are
Definitely.
real words.
It's just what came to mind immediately. It's just being real with yourself. How bad do you want it? Do you want it more than someone who's gonna outwork you? Or do you want it here and there? Because I'm speaking from experience, right? I'm speaking from the heart. Because there
You're
are
your
people
own
who want it
limiter.
more than me,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? And their work shows it. The work ethic shows it. My work ethic shows that I'm still struggling,
Hmm.
right? So I can
Understandable.
be real with myself, which means you have to be real with yourself. But yeah, just be straightforward, be analysis, be self aware, and you got to build dedication. You got to build discipline, and you got to just want it. And if you really want it, you'll do all those things regardless.
Makes sense. Makes sense. It's always been about discipline, hasn't it? It's
It all
always about
comes down to that. Yeah, something I still struggle with too.
Well, still on the topic of advice, but circling back towards about the beginning of the show, when playing Call of Duty and trying to get better, do you have any personal recommendations for players? Do you have any guns or loadouts that you really favor that you would say are meta, or things that you really recommend that people try to just set their skill level at a nice, even playing field?
If you want to become like genuinely good at the game, the best advice would be to watch people who are genuinely good at the game, learn from them, learn whatever they have to say. Not just one person, a lot of people in that category, because everyone's going to have different things, right? You want to learn as much as you can
Mhm.
and take what you can, like with your play style, right? And in terms of guns, just the guns metas are always going to change. Your job is to understand what's currently meta, what's never been changed as meta, and those guns would be in the current Call of Duty would be the Vaznev SMG and the TAC 56 assault rifle. Those guns are the most meta guns in the game. And when you play ranked, if you're not using those two guns, you're outmatched, you're outgunned. And the higher you up in the leaderboards in terms of like Diamond, the Crimson, Iridescent, etc., you only see those guns. And if you're not using them, it shows your rank. It shows like what rank you're most likely in terms of like first glance, like what people would think. And it really does matter more than you think. And if you're not using those guns, you're at a disadvantage. But I wish it was more metas than just having those two guns. I like variety. But the realism of it is like you need to use the meta because you're going to compete against guns that will outgun you, and you're going to sit there wondering, how did I get outgunned? But it's just the reality. There's cool guns, there's some good guns, but the meta you can't really compete with.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
but that
that's
goes
really
for any
valuable
game.
insight.
Yeah, it goes for any game though. Like learn what the meta is and abuse it.
Do you have any suggested places that people look for this information? Do you want to point to any other content creators or anyone that makes good videos that people can go to learn to better themselves?
Yeah, like what kind of YouTubers do you watch to get better?
Better
Or have
question.
you?
To get better, I would watch I would watch streamers or content creators with genuine skill, but specifically of personalities I enjoy watching, because I'll be like biased. If I don't like someone's personality, regardless of how skillful they are, I won't watch them.
Mhm.
So I like finding genuine people who are really good. And I like sometimes they may have videos about what classes to have, what guns to have, what settings make you have the best FPS, like all these little tips and tricks to make sure you're performing at the best possible um, that you can. And specific YouTubers would be like Shotzi. I mentioned him earlier. He's a part of the Optic team, and he's known for like having like the best movement in the game. And his movement has been popularized around the ranked community. And
So you want to go to Shotzi if you want to learn about movement for sure.
yeah, for movement. But then there's other YouTubers who teach you about like strats or like game mode strats or wall jumps, secret spots
Mm.
here and there that you
Oh,
can
okay.
also bring into ranked.
Like skill jumps.
Yeah, like skill jumps or
Oh, wow.
certain
I didn't
little
know Call of
spots
Duty
that
had that.
there's a lot. And if you're not utilizing them in ranked, like having that in your arsenal gives you a lot of advantage as well. Like there's some like secret wall spots that people don't even know about. That when I kill them from, they start having like what the fuck reactions, or have my teammates spectating me and they see me do this one little jump spot, and they call me dirty, or they say you're a fucking rat, or you're bro, touch grass. Like there's no way you know about this spot. It's some bizarre shit. That I feel like having great YouTubers, having great content creators who provide that is basically giving you free information to take and bring into your own arsenal of like strats. But again, to have that kind of mindset as a player, you have to want it. It's not common to want to be the best player or become a really good player. That's why casuals exist. Sorry, so that's why they have a name.
Mm.
But for the casual player, I would just like, for simple advice, I would say, understand how you died, understand like why you died, what you did to be in that position. Was it your fault? Was it not? And try your very best to not replicate it. And if you do that on a long enough time scale, you're just slowly gonna learn what not to do, and you're only gonna do good. And I feel like you can take that advice and apply it to anything. But yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Peter, do you have any questions you want to ask before we wrap up the show?
I think I am good.
All right. Wolves, thank you so much for coming this week. Go ahead and plug your socials and where everybody can find you and everything like that.
Yeah. Everything's actually the same. Where do I type it? Do I type it anywhere?
You can just, I'll put it in the description, but you
Well,
can just say it out loud right now.
is my name on the screen right now that you're looking at, like Wolves. Like that's my social for everything: Twitter, Instagram, everything, YouTube.
And you spell that WOHLVS.
Yeah, I had to be different because like, well, other person you know calls himself Wolves or Wolf and has an H in it. Oh wait,
You
so
gotta
the
do
H
what you gotta
very
do, man.
yeah,
Gotta
the
be
H
unique.
stands out for some stupid reason. So I
Definitely.
gotta
When I
like
first,
I spell it weird.
yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, "What is wolves?" Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had this name since like 2014. I had people try offering to buy it off me, like on Xbox gamer tag. Like people like wanted to buy this name off me. But yeah, I've had it for all my socials since forever. But yeah, WOHLVS. Because of how it's spelled, I've been called a lot of different names, like Wolves, Waholes, Walives. I've been called Waffles once. Because people get like creative with it.
The way
Yeah,
I
my
always
favorite is
say it, so I
Walives.
don't. Walives.
Yeah, like
The
an
way I
olive.
always say it, so I don't forget it, is Woloves.
Wolives. That's
Woloves.
I heard wolves too.
Wolves.
Yeah, like with a V, like a WVS. But yeah, I don't know, because of how it's spelled. It's like it's fun to make fun of it, but because of how it's spelled, it's unique to me. Because anyone could just name themselves Wolves or like a wolf. I feel like it's very common, so I had to like make it look a little different but cool at the same time.
My
The
brain
secret
is
is
just
just adding an H in it.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you. You've given some valuable insight, pointed to some great tips and tricks, and you even got a little bit personal there for a moment. So we really appreciate you.
yeah, it's
Peter,
definitely been a fun stream. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing all your like life wisdom with us and your streamer wisdom.
A lot of wisdom. I appreciate you guys having me on and providing me this opportunity to do so.
all right. Until then, thank you everyone else for watching. And Peter, see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.